All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to This Week in Base Hit. Once again, after a week hiatus, I am joined by Clone. Clone, welcome back. How's your
How you
week?
doing?
Good.
I'm doing pretty good. I'm ready. I enjoyed listening to Jar.
I did
Also
too. Yeah.
putting my 15-minute timer on because
Yep.
I uh-oh.
Because you're
I
in a
don't
different
have my
spot. We don't have the
Yeah, we got it. We
hourglass.
got it. We got it. All right.
Can we call it an hourglass? Don't we have to call it like a quarter
15
hourglass?
minute glass.
Yeah.
We need to get I mean, this is stupid, but yeah. We need to build a structure. I need you to
Yes,
have it hang down, come down from the ceiling, whatever. But
that would be good.
the way I had it, I was having to like maneuver in this funny
Don't you
way.
have children that could just hold it there? Isn't that what children are for?
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Um
Or they could just sit behind you and go like this.
and they're not allowed to talk. So you know what? I um I feel really bad about this, and I'm gonna confess it right now. I
Oh,
was
wow.
talking to my kid yesterday, my younger kid who is 11, so he's not that young, about working on the tutorial for the game.
Mm,
And but I was talking to him about it because I was talking about because he downloads tons of
different
games to his
games.
iPad and like
Yeah.
the process of like how many, the billion games that he brings in and then throws away almost all of them immediately. But then we started talking about it, and I realized that he barely has an understanding of the rules of baseball.
Of baseball as the game?
Yeah,
Oh, you're a
uh,
terrible father.
I am a terrible father. Uh, I had not thought about it,
Well, maybe he
but
doesn't like baseball, I guess, but
well, he probably doesn't know, and he's going to go to his therapist and talk about how his father never taught him anything about baseball. But he plays soccer, he plays basketball. I watch football. I've confessed before that I don't watch baseball. I watch highlights, but I don't watch games live anymore.
yeah.
So then, like, when would he have learned it? And I think less kids play. I mean, kids do play it, but less kids play it now. But yeah, I felt
Yeah.
negligent.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Uh,
baseball itself, I mean, baseball is a hard game to
I was
the
just gonna
rules.
say it's the hardest rule set, but it's kind of like base hit in the way that if you can get past the initial hurdles of figuring out how the game works, you're in forever.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
those hurdles take a long time.
That's a good analogy. Um,
Yep.
yeah, I was trying to explain like second baseman versus I can't even remember and like who's the best, where you're putting the best fielders and
Fielders.
everything else. Um,
Yep.
he was totally oblivious. Oh my god.
I think honestly, baseball's hitting a new golden age, like in the mid 80s, where we had every team had one huge superstar, and it was just such a great time where everybody, like no matter who you played, like George Brett or Mike Schmidt or Dale Murphy or whoever, like everybody had somebody. That's what's happened to baseball now, where like every team has just somebody that you just have to see. Bobby Witt Jr. and Ronald Acuna and Shohei Ohtani and Jackson Chourio. It's great time to be a baseball fan.
Is there a reason for that, or you just think it's just happens to be the
If baseball finally loosened up and took NBA's approach to making their players stars again, where it's like they allowed them.
how do you do that?
Well, part of
How do
it
they
was a cultural shift where they got rid of some of the stupid baseball rules where like you're not allowed to celebrate. There's no such thing as a bat flip.
Oh
You
yeah,
throw
yeah.
a bat flip, you're getting beamed in the head. Like it made baseball dull in some ways. So now like you see guys trotting around the
Yeah,
bases,
yeah.
and now that it's more normalized, you see more players interacting from other teams. Like you'll see guys fake fight each other. They just there's just so much more celebration. They put on hats when they go into the dugout and do a dugout
Yeah,
celebration.
yeah.
That part's better, but they also made rule changes. Like they increased the size of the bag. You can only have two disengagement attempts, so there's a lot more
Oh,
stealing. So
all
the
those
game's
are
a lot more exciting. You know, Ronald Acuna became the first player to ever have a 40-80 season last year, which is insane. 40 home runs, 80 stolen
yeah,
bases.
yeah.
Um,
The
and
speed the speed changes are huge, and that's got I mean, just from being a parent. Again, I grew up playing it, but like I would much rather go watching kids play baseball when it's hot and nothing's happening for most
Yeah.
of the time. I mean, so
Yeah.
not that they're putting the kids on pitch counts, but I
Yep.
mean, absolutely, that's
And
got
they
to be
made
helping.
they made a pitch clock so the game of the speed of the game's much quicker. Games are 2 hours now, and you get a automatic runner on second base in extra innings. So there are no like 3.5, 4 hour games anymore, which was always the biggest knock on baseball. Was it was just too slow. Not slow anymore.
Yeah, I mean the culture shift of just when you'd watch a game, there'd be a pitch, and then everybody'd pick up their phone and look at whatever just
Yeah.
because they knew, yeah, and not being able to do that. I mean, that's a big deal. Um,
Um, But okay, now converting quickly, just because I have to say this right now, and I'm not going to jinx myself in the process, but for the fourth week in a row, I'm in a World Series during this week in base hit, and this week it's in a league I've never spoken about publicly before. It's my man Jerry Park's league, the Seatown Open, which has always been full. Nobody ever talks about Seatown Open, but Jerry Park has kept that thing alive for a long, long time. Um, and
what does the name come from? First of all, what is
oh,
Seatown? Is it Cleveland? What is the?
damn it!
Do you even know
I thought I had all your answers. I don't know what Seatown means. See, like
Seatown Open?
I guess I would
Oh,
have assumed it was Chicago, but I guess
oh yeah, yeah.
no one calls it Seatown though. They call it the Windy
Somebody's gonna
City.
somebody's gonna be highly
Columbus?
embarrassed.
I don't know. Jerry Park.
Columbus. It cannot be Columbus. If it's
Jerry
Columbus,
Park, get back at us. Tell us why it's called
yeah,
Seatown
somebody
Open.
on here. Okay. So yeah,
Um,
tell me
but I mean,
they got a rule set. They got a different rule set or what?
they had. I mean,
They
it's
have to if you're in the World Series. They got to have some kind of.
well, that's a soft cap. If I'm in the World Series, probably
Yeah.
65 million soft cap. But let's see. Let me see. Make sure that my financials aren't crazy here. No, I'm awesome. You know what my salary is? 64,958,000. I'm under the cap. I'm
I
under the
think
cap.
I'm gonna have to go check and see if you made changes to that right before this, so you'd be able to say that you were under the cap.
No, I'm under the cap.
Good
But
luck, man.
Jerry Park's always good in that league too. He was in the World Series last year. This year I made it. Um, but anyways,
I remember
wish
him
me
from.
luck. It's 2-2 right now, so it's a 3-game series, and I'm up against Snowman 12, who I've never been in a World Series against.
Good
No.
luck.
Yep.
Good luck.
Yep. So there we go.
I enjoy the weekend World Series. Man, I'm gonna go back to the tutorial for a second because
Yeah.
I'm grabbing
Yeah.
screenshots, grabbing a screenshot of GameView, and I wanted to and then just for my own personal enjoyment, I want to put Easter eggs in there. So I went back to try to grab when Jeff Myron hit home run in
Oh, Jesus.
in 1997. That was going to be the like background image,
I
but
mean, if you have to use one, you might as well use one that's important to you.
we don't have full play
Oh,
by play from
that was before
before
Game View.
2009, I think. So
Yep.
unfortunately, I couldn't do that.
That game was in 2005, like real life year 2005, so 20 years ago.
So then I used a game of me beating you last season. So that works. But
What
it's
a
not. It
dick
wasn't
move.
historically. It wasn't historic. Um,
What a dick move.
I know. I know.
Huh. All right.
I
Well,
shouldn't have even told you. I just wanted it to be out
yeah.
there.
So yeah, wait for me to find it.
Um,
Yeah, we were talking about Easter eggs the other day. I want to do more Easter egg type stuff. I think it's funny. Um, there was a huge, huge Easter egg in last week's podcast that no one has asked me about. So I'm gonna leave it right there. But if you find it in last week's podcast, it's a huge
was this on
Easter egg.
purpose?
Oh yeah. I told Jar about it at the beginning and told him
All
how
right.
that we were going to talk about it.
I am taking notes so that I
Yep.
remember to go and look for it.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh, but No, nobody's
If
found
anybody
it.
else, if anybody else knows, put it on there.
Yep.
Also, if anybody, I've been putting it on the videos, but like, I still really like the idea of you and me having like a hat that we grab a topic out of that people
Oh,
send,
that's a
and
good idea.
we just got to riff on it. So if people have topics that they're interested in hearing us talk about, whatever it is, well, not whatever it is, we might veto some ridiculous ones, but if you've got topics, talk to us about it, and we'll try
Where
to
do you
talk
want
about
them to send it? Let's give them a.
it. Email. You can email support. You can email me, Russ Dean at BaseHit. Support at BaseHit. I wasn't ready for that question.
Yeah, we should have made those our game names. I didn't think
Um,
about those emails. They should be Zubaz at base hit.
well, yeah, I could change it, but
Yeah.
or you can respond to the podcast. You can
Yeah, you
find
could
us
put it in the
around,
YouTube notes if you're watching on YouTube. If not, just yeah, we
but we'll
should
talk
have
about
a
it.
little Discord and forums place that people can drop ideas.
Um, the
That's a good idea.
and people want. I know you've said people. I know people like here and there. Boise used to talk about checking to see if his name came up. Maybe
He'd
he's not going to check
only
this one.
yeah, he would always when a podcast would come out, he'd be like, "Did you talk about Boise?" And if I say yes, he'd listen. If not, he wouldn't listen.
There's got to be. Well, we should drop his name each week. Actually, that's another one we should be putting in here.
Yeah.
There's got to be tools now that could alert you if your name gets spoken
That's why I threw
in
out
the
Jerry
video.
Park's name. I don't know if he listens to the podcast, but somebody should tell him he's central to this one.
Good idea.
Yeah, yeah. We'll get name drop people, get them involved.
All right, so I got to teach my kid along with
Teach them
Easter eggs.
baseball.
I
Yeah,
might have to
hey,
sit down this weekend and go through the entire thing with them.
here's
Uh,
here's here's what I have.
Nobody's gonna call social services on me.
Yeah, social services. Yeah, I know a guy that has not taught his son the rules of baseball. My God, we are gonna grab that kid and throw him in a crate right now. Get him out of there.
I was talking to him about the reason it came up was because I was talking about um, weird games where they have to put in crazy people to pitch because they've run out of bullpen guys, kind of
Yeah,
like the hockey. So I love those stories.
dude.
I love those hockey stories too.
There was just a game 2 days ago where, or I don't know if it's 2 days ago. Maybe it was this week though. The guy threw the slowest pitch ever thrown in a major league game. It was a position player. They were down like 9-0. It was in the ninth inning. Position player threw a 33-mile-per-hour pitch,
Was it
and
an ephus?
it was basically an ephus. Yeah,
Yeah,
but he threw it like a knuckleball, and he threw a knuckleball like in the trajectory of an ephus,
yeah.
and it was the most confusing thing. But the guy just smashed it. He
Really?
normally
Well, that's what.
normally that
Yeah,
doesn't work, but yeah, he just smashed it.
I need to look that up.
Yep.
I do love those. I do love those situations.
Yep.
Is that coming up more nowadays?
Yeah, well, that's actually a big thing now. They actually made a rule set that you can use one position player each game as a pitcher. So if teams get, because how strained pitching has gotten because
Yeah,
starters don't pitch as long anymore,
yeah.
anytime you're down like 6 or 7, you'll see a position player come in almost all the time and pitch.
But that was always the case. What's the rule change?
I
I mean,
don't
that
know.
was always a
They made a
possibility.
specific rule, but it's always a possibility. But now it happens all the time. Like every team has a position player that they let pitch. That it never
to
used
look
to be
that
like
up.
that.
We just talked about that in the game this week too. Was
We're
I
gonna
mean,
start letting position players pitch.
it's subtle, but it was what to do because people may or may not know. I guess you see it some places that we have really bad. Everybody's got tens across the pitchers have batting stats, batters have pitching stats. Um, they're not. They're all very bad, but what to do with those? And no
Yeah.
no time soon are we going to use those. But yeah,
No, they're mothballed. So
they're mothballed. But
don't even
yeah.
give us any suggestions on that. We're not letting position players pitch or pitchers hit. Pitchers hit might be fun someday, but they would just end up being 40s, right? Like they'd just be scrubs, so it wouldn't be that fun. But
But now nobody does it, right? So
no,
MLB changed
And they
MLB
changed
wanted
it
to be
because
more
it's not
like
fun.
us. They want to
Yeah.
be more like us.
Yep.
Anyway,
Yep. They wanted to be more like us. That's
and pretty soon they're
exactly
going to
right.
start playing 8 games a day to be more like us.
That's right. Yep.
Amazingly, it's 15 minutes already,
I
man.
bet it is.
I'm
All
gonna go
right.
check what the Easter egg was.
You're not going to figure it out. I don't think
Okay.
anybody's going to figure it out. Maybe. Maybe. I mean, just let me put this out there. It's no secret to the game or anything like that. So
Yeah.
I don't want people looking at it thinking they're going to have this huge unlock. But it's just a little Easter egg. Just figure it
Okay.
out. All right.
All right. I just want to say hi to Boise.
And everybody else, we're just going to have to run a list of names by so people can wait for their name. All right. That's it. That's this week in Base Hit. Until next week, we are out of here.